If you've been trying to get pregnant for 6 months, a year, maybe even longer, and your doctor has run tests and told you that everything looks normal, but you're still not pregnant, this video is for you. Because here's what I need you to understand. There's no such thing as truly unexplained infertility. There's only infertility that hasn't been fully investigated yet. Hi, I'm Dr. Marc Sklar, the fertility expert. And in the past 23 years, I've helped thousands of women who were given the diagnosis of unexplained infertility. Women who were told everything was fine, but still couldn't get pregnant. Women who felt completely stuck and hopeless. And you know what? In nearly every single case, we found the answer. We identified what was really going on, and then we fixed it. Today, I'm going to share with you the 8 hidden causes of unexplained infertility, the factors that standard fertility testing completely misses. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you what testing you actually need and what you can do about it. This might be the most important video you watch on your fertility journey because I'm about to give you back something that you thought you lost: hope and a clear path forward. Before we dive in, make sure you watch my free masterclass after this video. The link is in the description below. That's where I show you the complete system for transforming your fertility, even when you've been told there's nothing wrong. So let's get started. First, I want you to know you're not alone. Unexplained infertility is one of the most common fertility diagnoses. In fact, it accounts for about 30% of all infertility cases. 30%! That's a huge number. But here's the problem with this diagnosis. It's not really a diagnosis at all. It's an admission that standard testing didn't find anything. It doesn't mean nothing is wrong. It just means we haven't looked deep enough yet. Think about it this way. If you went to the doctor with chest pain and they listened to your heart and said, "Sounds fine to me," but didn't do an EKG, didn't check your blood pressure, didn't run cardiac enzymes, would you accept that as a complete evaluation? Of course you wouldn't. Yet that's exactly what's happening with standard fertility testing. It's scratching the surface. It's checking the most obvious things, but it's missing the deeper, more subtle factors that are actually preventing your pregnancy. And I know how frustrating this can be. I've sat across from hundreds of women who've been told everything is normal, while they're living the reality of month after month of negative pregnancy tests. The emotional toll, the confusion, the feeling of being completely helpless. But here's what gives me hope, and what should give you hope as well. Once we identify what's really going on, once we address the actual root cause, pregnancy becomes possible. I see it all the time. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 8 most common hidden causes of unexplained infertility. There are more, but these are the 8 most common ones. And by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer picture of what might be preventing your pregnancy and what you need to investigate next. So let's start by understanding why standard testing is just not enough. Let me explain what standard fertility testing typically includes, and more importantly, what it's missing. Standard fertility workup usually consists for women estradiol and AMH, anti-Müllerian hormone for those people who don't know what AMH is, maybe an ultrasound to look at your ovaries, an HSG, which is not always done, but this is to check your fertility tubes and to make sure that they're open. Again, it's not always done, but should be. Confirmation that you're ovulating, usually through progesterone testing or ultrasound. And for men, it consists of a basic semen analysis that looks at a sperm count, motility, and morphology. And if all of these come back normal, you're told there's no identifiable cause for your infertility. Unexplained. Nothing we can do, just keep on trying. But here's what this testing doesn't tell us. It is focused only on egg quantity. It doesn't assess sperm DNA integrity, only basic sperm parameters. It doesn't evaluate your immune system role in regards to your fertility journey. It doesn't look at your thyroid function comprehensively. It doesn't assess inflammation levels or gut health. It doesn't measure your toxic burden or nutrient status. It doesn't evaluate mitochondrial function or cellular energy production. It doesn't examine subtle hormone imbalances that might be within normal range, but not optimal. In other words, standard testing is looking at about 30% of the factors that determine whether you can get pregnant and maintain a healthy pregnancy. That's why I say unexplained isn't really unexplained. It's under-investigated. I had a patient we're going to call her Amanda for this, who came to me after 3 years of unexplained infertility. She'd seen multiple doctors. All her tests were normal. She tried 4 rounds of IUI with no success. She was 37 and feeling like time was running out. When we did comprehensive testing, the kind I'm going to describe to you today, we discovered several issues. Significant gut inflammation, thyroid antibodies which indicated Hashimoto's disease, elevated homocysteine indicating methylation problems, and her partner had high sperm DNA fragmentation, despite a normal semen analysis. None of these issues showed up on standard fertility testing, but they were absolutely preventing her from getting pregnant. We addressed all of these factors through the HOPE program protocols. 6 months later, she conceived naturally. She's now a mother of 2. This is what's possible when we actually investigate thoroughly. So let's go through 8 hidden causes one by one, and I'll explain what each one is, why it matters, and what you need to do about it. The first hidden cause is poor egg quality, which is not so hidden. Now, your doctor has probably tested your ovarian reserve, your AMH. These tests tell us how many eggs you have, but they tell us absolutely nothing about the quality of those eggs. And here's the critical distinction. You only need 1 egg to get pregnant, but it needs to be a good quality egg. So what affects egg quality? Age, yes, but it's not the whole story. Oxidative stress and free radical damage mitochondrial function. And I'm going to talk more about this in just a little bit. Inflammation, nutritional deficiencies, blood sugar imbalances, toxic exposure, chronic stress. These are all things that impact egg quality. You could have excellent ovarian reserve, lots of eggs, but if the quality is poor, those eggs won't fertilize properly, won't develop into healthy embryos, or won't implant successfully. This is especially common in women over 35, but I see egg quality issues in younger women as well, particularly those with PCOS, endometriosis, or significant lifestyle factors affecting their health. Here's what you need to know about egg quality. Unlike egg quantity, which at face value we can't increase, egg quality is something we can improve. Remember, your eggs go through a 90-day maturation process before ovulation. That gives us a 3-month window to improve the quality of the eggs that you will be ovulating. So let's get comprehensive testing that includes markers of oxidative stress, inflammation, and metabolic function. This isn't part of standard fertility testing, but it's crucial. Let's implement an egg quality optimization protocol. High-dose antioxidants such as CoQ10, anti-inflammatory diet which is rich in colorful vegetables, healthy fats, and quality protein. Let's get your blood sugar stabilized. Let's manage your stress. And let's get adequate sleep because this is critical for cellular repair. Let's add in specific supplements like vitamin E, C, resveratrol, ALA. In the HOPE program, egg quality optimization is a major focus because I've seen it make such a dramatic difference. Women who were told that they had old eggs or poor prognosis for IVF, when we optimized their egg quality naturally, they often conceived and carried to term successfully. And that's exactly what I want for all of you. Hidden cause number 2, sperm DNA fragmentation. This is a huge one that almost never gets tested in standard fertility workups. Yet it's a major cause of unexplained infertility, failed IVF cycles, and recurrent miscarriage. But here's what you need to understand. A standard semen analysis looks at 3 main things: count, how many sperm; motility, how they move; and morphology, their shape. And if these parameters are normal, your doctor says, sperm is fine. But a normal semen analysis doesn't tell us anything about the DNA inside those sperm. The sperm could look perfectly healthy on the outside, but have damaged, fragmented DNA on the inside. When sperm DNA is fragmented, several problems occur. Fertilization might not happen at all. Even if fertilization does occur, the embryo may not develop properly. The embryo might not implant. If it does implant, it may result in an early miscarriage. IVF success rates are significantly reduced when we see this. And studies show that sperm DNA fragmentation is a factor in up to 80% of couples with unexplained infertility. 80%, yet it's rarely tested. So what causes DNA fragmentation? Oxidative stress is the leading cause. Inflammation is another. Infection, varicocele, which is enlarged veins in the scrotum, environmental toxins, smoking, excessive alcohol, poor diet, obesity, age, yes, Men's fertility declines too. Heat exposure like hot tubs, laptops on the lap, and tight underwear. Look, I had a couple, let's call them Mike and Lisa for this video, who had unexplained infertility for 4 years. Lisa's testing was all normal. Mike's semen analysis was completely normal. They tried multiple IUI cycles and 1 IVF cycle with no success. When we tested Mike's sperm DNA fragmentation, it was 38%. Anything above 30% is considered problematic, and sometimes even over 20%. This was why they couldn't conceive, despite everything looking normal. We put Mike on a comprehensive protocol, high dose of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory diet, addressed his sleep apnea, reduced his toxic exposure, and focused on overall health optimization. 3 months later, his DNA fragmentation dropped to 18%. They conceived naturally the next month. What you need to do moving forward is insist on sperm DNA fragmentation testing. This isn't a standard test, but many fertility clinics do offer it. If fragmentation is high, implement a male fertility optimization protocol, like I just mentioned, with high dose of antioxidants such as vitamin C, E, CoQ10, selenium, L-carnitine supplementation, zinc, and folate. Add in an anti-inflammatory diet, reduce alcohol and eliminate smoking, avoid heat exposure to the testicles, and address any underlying health issues. This takes 2 to 3 months to see improvement, sometimes even longer. That's how long sperm production actually takes. But it's absolutely worth the effort to see those results. I want to pause here for a moment because we're covering a lot of information. And I know some of you are thinking, this is overwhelming. I need help figuring out what applies to me specifically in my situation. I completely understand that. That's exactly why we offer personalized fertility assessment sessions. In these one-on-one sessions, we review your complete history, yours and your partner's. We look at all your testing or identify what testing may be missing. We identify the specific factors that are most likely preventing your pregnancy. And then we create a strategic, customized plan to address them. This isn't generic advice. This is personalized investigation and treatment planning based on your unique situation and history. If you've tried other things and if you're tired of unexplained, if you want real answers and a clear path forward, head to the link in the description below and book your fertility assessment today. These sessions fill up quickly because the demand is high. So don't wait if this is something that you actually want and need. All right, so let's continue with hidden cause number 3. This is one of the most overlooked factors in fertility, yet it plays a crucial role in implantation and early pregnancy maintenance. Here's what happens. Your immune system needs to be perfectly balanced for pregnancy to occur. It needs to be strong enough to protect you from infections, but it also needs to tolerate the embryo, which is technically a foreign object or tissue, 50% of it from your partner. When your immune system is overactive or dysregulated, it can attack sperm before they reach the egg, prevent the embryo from implanting, attack the embryo after implantation, causing early miscarriage. It can create inflammation in the uterus that prevents receptivity. So, common immune issues that affect fertility. These are things like elevated natural killer cells. These immune cells can be overactive and attack the embryo. Antiphospholipid antibodies. These can cause clotting issues that prevent implantation. Thyroid antibodies may be one of the more common ones, linked to implantation failure and miscarriage, even with normal thyroid function, by the way. Anti-sperm antibodies. Your immune system creates antibodies against the sperm, your partner's sperm. Chronic inflammation. This creates an inhospitable environment for implantation. The problem is that standard fertility testing doesn't check any of this. What you need to do moving forward is get comprehensive immune testing. Ask for NK cell activity and count testing, antiphospholipid antibodies, thyroid antibodies, often, again, not checked, ANA, anti-nuclear antibody, inflammatory markers like CRP and ESR. If immune issues are identified, treatment might include an anti-inflammatory protocol through diet and lifestyle, specific supplements that modulate immune function, addressing gut health because 70% of your immune system is in your gut. In some cases, medications like low-dose aspirin or prednisone or intravenous immunoglobulin, also known as IVIG, may be needed as well. I want to be clear. Immune testing and treatment is complex. You need to work with a provider who understands reproductive immunology. This is something that we assess and address in the whole program when it's indicated. Not for all members, but for those who actually need it. Hidden cause number 4 is thyroid dysfunction. Now, some of you might be thinking, but my doctor checked my thyroid. And maybe they did. But did they check it comprehensively? Did they look at everything? And were they looking for optimal levels, not just normal levels? Here's the issue that most people run into. Standard fertility testing might include TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. If it's within normal range though, which is somewhere between 0.5 and 4.5, your doctor says your thyroid is just fine. But for fertility, we need TSH to be much more tightly controlled. I want to see TSH below 2.5 when you're trying to conceive, and ideally between 1 and 2. And TSH is just one piece. We also need to check free T3, the active thyroid hormone, free T4, thyroid antibodies, both TPO and TG, reverse T3 in some cases. So thyroid function matters so much for your fertility because your thyroid hormones regulate ovulation, egg quality, hormone production, uterine receptivity, early pregnancy maintenance, miscarriage risk, even subclinical hypothyroidism, where your TSH is just slightly elevated, but still within the normal clinical range, can significantly impact your fertility. And here's something really important. Thyroid antibodies. This indicates Hashimoto's thyroiditis. These are associated with increased miscarriage risk, even when thyroid function appears normal. Many women have thyroid antibodies that are never tested. What you need to do moving forward is get comprehensive thyroid testing. All the markers that I just mentioned. If you have subclinical hypothyroidism, meaning TSH above 3, thyroid antibodies or low free T3, then you need support. Thyroid medication may be indicated. You may need selenium supplementation, especially important for Hashimoto's disease. And I also want you to start an anti-inflammatory diet. I want you to look into your gut health and don't ignore stress management. And don't forget about adequate iodine as well, but not too much and not in all situations. So here's an example. I had a patient, we're going to call her Jennifer, who had unexplained infertility for 2 years. Her TSH was tested once and came back at 3.2, which her doctor said was normal. When we did comprehensive testing, we found her TSH was actually now 3.8. Her free T3 was low, and she had elevated thyroid antibodies. We started her on a low dose of thyroid medication, or her OB in this case did, and implemented the HOPE program protocols to address her Hashimoto's disease. Her TSH dropped to 1.5, her antibodies decreased significantly, and she conceived within 3 months. Thyroid function is not optional for fertility. It must be optimal, not just normal, and you need to get it checked. Hidden cause number 5 is gut health and chronic inflammation. This one is one of my favorite topics because it's so foundational, yet it's completely ignored in standard fertility care. And here's one of the more important things that you need to understand. Your gut health affects everything. Your hormone balance, your immune function, your nutrient absorption, your inflammation levels, and yes, your fertility as well. Gut health impacts fertility. It does this in multiple ways. Number 1 is hormone metabolism. Your gut bacteria help metabolize estrogen, so poor gut health can lead to estrogen dominance, which affects ovulation and implantation. Number 2, nutrient absorption. If your gut is inflamed or you have conditions like leaky gut, you're not absorbing the nutrients you need for optimal fertility, even if you're eating well. Number 3, immune function. 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. Gut dysbiosis, imbalanced gut bacteria, leads to immune dysfunction and chronic inflammation. Number 4, speaking of inflammation, is inflammation, because chronic gut inflammation creates systemic inflammation throughout your body, including your reproductive organs. This can affect egg quality, sperm quality, implantation, and pregnancy maintenance. Some common gut issues affecting fertility are something called SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, intestinal permeability, also known as leaky gut, gut dysbiosis, food sensitivities, especially gluten, dairy, and soy, inflammatory bowel conditions, H. pylori infections, candida overgrowth. The symptoms might seem unrelated to fertility: bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, food sensitivities. But these symptoms indicate gut dysfunction that is absolutely affecting your fertility. This is complex and really requires work with someone knowledgeable. But here are some of the basics. Start with testing like comprehensive stool analysis. For SIBO, you need a SIBO breath test. Food sensitivity testing might be important, and testing inflammatory markers. I've seen countless women with unexplained infertility conceive after we have addressed their gut health. It's that powerful. One of my patients had severe bloating, constipation, and food sensitivity for years. She tried to get pregnant for 3 years with no success. We did comprehensive gut testing and found SIBO and significant gut inflammation. We helped her address her SIBO, healed her gut, and implemented an anti-inflammatory diet. She conceived 4 months later. Your gut health is not separate from your fertility. They're intimately connected, and we need to look deeper at that more consistently. The sixth hidden cause is environmental toxins and endocrine disruptors. This is something that's getting more attention in fertility research, but it's still rarely addressed in clinical practice. Here's the reality. We're exposed to thousands, tens of thousands of chemicals every single day. Many of these are endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with your hormones and your fertility. Some common endocrine disruptors that you might be exposed to, which are BPA and BPS. These are found in plastics, lining of cans and receipt paper. Phthalates, which is in plastics, fragrances, and personal care products. Parabens in cosmetics and personal care products as well. Pesticides, which are going to be found in non-organic foods, sometimes even organic foods. Heavy metals like mercury, lead, and cadmium. PCBs in farmed fish. Flame retardants in your furniture and mattresses. PFAS, or forever chemicals. These are on nonstick cookware and water-resistant clothing. So how do these affect fertility? They can mimic or block hormones, especially estrogen, disrupt ovulation, damage egg and sperm quality, interfere with implantation, increase miscarriage risks. They can affect thyroid function, and they can reduce IVF success rates. Research shows that higher levels of these toxins are directly correlated with infertility and poor IVF outcomes and complications in pregnancy. What makes this tricky is that these toxins accumulate in your body over time. The effects are subtle and hard to measure. Standard fertility testing doesn't look at toxic burden at all. So here are some steps that you can take to dive deeper into this. Start with testing. Consider environmental toxin testing through specialty labs, because these labs are going to measure heavy metals, either in your blood or hair. They're going to test phthalate metabolites in your urine, BPA levels also in your urine, and detoxification and prevention is important. We also need to reduce exposure. So switch to glass and stainless steel containers, no plastic. Use clean personal care products, and you could check the EWG website Skin Deep database for more information on that. Eat organic, especially for animal products, and the Dirty Dozen list is essential here. Filter your water, reverse osmosis is best, and avoid synthetic fragrances and choose natural cleaning products. So how do you support detoxification? Well, it starts with cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. Support your liver detoxification as well. And you can do that with adequate fiber to bind toxins in the gut. Drink plenty of water, sweat regularly through exercise or sauna, and then take some specific supplements like milk thistle, NAC, glutathione, but you need to work with a practitioner for that. This isn't about being perfect or living in a bubble. It's about reducing your overall toxic burden so your body can function optimally. I had a couple where the woman worked as a hairdresser. She was exposed to chemicals daily. The man was a house painter. Both had high toxic burdens when we tested them. We implemented a detoxification protocol and reduced their exposure wherever possible. Their fertility improved dramatically, and they conceived after 5 years of unexplained infertility. Even though it sounds overwhelming, there are things that you can do to manage your toxic burden. Okay, the seventh is mitochondrial dysfunction. This is getting into the cellular level, but stay with me because this is crucial. What are mitochondria? They're the powerhouses of your cells. They produce energy in the form of ATP. Every cell in your body has mitochondria, but eggs have more mitochondria than almost any other cell type. Why? Well, that's because fertilization, embryo development, and implantation require massive amounts of energy. And here's the key thing that you need to understand. If your mitochondria aren't functioning well, your eggs don't have the energy that they need to complete proper chromosomal division or fertilize successfully. develop into healthy embryos, or to support implantation. Mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the primary reasons egg quality declines with age. As we get older, our mitochondria accumulate damage and become less efficient. But, and this is super important, mitochondrial function isn't just about age. Younger women can have mitochondrial dysfunction too, and this can be caused by oxidative stress, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, exposure to toxins, chronic stress, poor blood sugar control, and inadequate sleep. While we can't directly test mitochondrial function in eggs, we can assess markers of mitochondrial health and implement strategies to optimize it. So a mitochondrial support protocol may include CoQ10. This is the most important supplement for mitochondrial function and egg quality. I like to make sure you're dosing somewhere between 400 and 600 milligrams daily. L-carnitine transports fatty acids into the mitochondria for energy production, and this should be somewhere dosed around 500 to 2,000 milligrams daily. ALA, a powerful antioxidant that protects mitochondria, and this is around 300 to 600 milligrams daily. B vitamins, which are essential for energy production, and I recommend you take high-quality B complex. Magnesium, required for ATP production, and this should be about 400 milligrams daily. PQQ, which promotes new mitochondrial formation, and that's 10 to 20 milligrams daily. Also, lifestyle factors, regular moderate exercise, which improves mitochondrial biogenesis. Intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating stimulates mitochondrial renewal. Adequate sleep, stress management, blood sugar control. This is advanced stuff, but it's incredibly powerful. Women who optimize their mitochondrial function often see dramatic improvements in egg quality and fertility outcomes. And these are steps that you can take, but I recommend doing that under the guidance of a proper healthcare provider or fertility specialist. Okay, the eighth hidden cause is nutrient deficiencies. This might sound simple, but nutritional deficiencies are epidemic, and they are absolutely affecting fertility. So what you need to know about this is that even if you eat a healthy diet, you might have deficiencies because our soil is depleted. So foods contain fewer nutrients than they used to. Stress increases nutrient demands. So the more stress you have, the more nutrients you need. Poor gut health impairs nutrient absorption. Certain medications that you might be taking also can deplete nutrients. So preparing for pregnancy has increased nutrient requirements as well. So critical nutrients for fertility that you need to pay attention to is folate, not folic acid. This is essential for egg quality, implantation, and preventing neural tube defects. You need methylated folate, especially if you have an MTHFR gene mutation. Vitamin D, it acts more like a hormone than a vitamin. This affects egg quality, implantation, immune function, and pregnancy outcomes. I like to target somewhere between 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter in your blood levels. Vitamin B12, which is critical for egg quality and early fetal development. Many women are deficient in this, especially vegetarians. Iron, also needed for ovulation and healthy pregnancies. But don't supplement without testing. Too much iron can be problematic. Zinc, essential for hormone production, egg quality, and cell division. Also critical for male fertility. Another one is omega-3 fatty acids. They help reduce inflammation, support egg quality, and are essential for fetal brain development. Magnesium, required for 300 enzymatic reactions, including hormone production and stress management. Selenium, it protects eggs from oxidative damage and supports thyroid function. Vitamin E, powerful antioxidant for egg and sperm quality. Iodine is another one, which is essential for thyroid function because this helps govern your fertility. What you need to do is get tested. Don't guess about your nutrient status. Test vitamin D, B12, folate, ferritin, magnesium, red blood cell count, and zinc. And then supplement strategically based on your test results. Supplement with high quality bioavailable forms of the nutrients you need, like methylated B vitamins, again, especially if you have MTHFR. Vitamin D with K2, high quality fish oil or algae-based omega-3s. Chelated minerals are going to be really important as well. And then a prenatal vitamin with methylated folate, not just folic acid. I also want you to eat nutrient-dense foods like dark leafy greens, colorful vegetables and fruits, wild-caught fish, grass-fed meat and pasture-raised eggs, nuts and seeds, legumes, healthy fats like avocado and olive oil. I had a patient who came to me with unexplained infertility. When we tested her nutrients, she had severe vitamin D deficiency. It was at 18, low B12 and low ferritin. We addressed these deficiencies through supplementation and dietary changes. Within 4 months, all her levels were optimal and she conceived naturally after 2 years of trying with no success. Nutrients are the building blocks of fertility. You can't build a baby without them. And that's why they're called building blocks. Not everyone needs every test, but everyone needs more than the standard fertility workup offers. The testing should be personalized based on your history, symptoms, and previous test results. This is exactly what I do in the fertility assessment sessions. I review what testing you've had, identify what's missing, and create a strategic testing plan so we can finally get answers. Because here's the truth, we can't fix what we don't know about. Comprehensive testing gives us the roadmap. Then we can create targeted interventions that actually address your specific issues. So where do we go from here? First, I want you to review these 8 hidden causes and identify which ones might apply to you. Egg quality issues, sperm DNA fragmentation, immune dysfunction, maybe thyroid problems, gut health and inflammation, environmental toxins, which I think everybody should look at, mitochondrial dysfunction, nutritional deficiencies. Be honest with yourself. Which of these have never been investigated in your case? Which symptoms or risk factors do you have? Second, advocate for yourself. If your doctor has told you everything is normal, but you're not pregnant, push back a little bit. Ask for more comprehensive testing. Request the specific tests I've outlined in this video. If your doctor won't order them or tells you they're not necessary, find a provider who will. You deserve thorough investigation. You deserve answers. Third, start implementing changes now. While you're pursuing testing and working with practitioners, you can start making changes that support fertility across all of these areas. Upgrade your diet to be anti-inflammatory and nutrient-dense. Take high-quality supplements. At a minimum, a good quality prenatal with methylated folate, vitamin D, omega-3s, CoQ10. Manage your stress through daily practices. Optimize your sleep. Reduce your toxic exposures. Support your gut health. Address blood sugar imbalances. These foundational strategies help regardless of what your specific issues are. Fourth, get support. You don't have to figure this out alone. Whether it's through my fertility assessment sessions, the HOPE program, or another qualified fertility practitioner who practices comprehensive root cause medicine, get the support that you need. Unexplained infertility can feel isolating and hopeless, but it doesn't have to be. There are answers. There are solutions. You just need someone who's willing to look deep enough to find them. Before we wrap up, I want to make sure you watch my free masterclass after this video. The link is in the description below. In that masterclass, I walk you through the proven 5-step system to transform your fertility and reignite your hope to get pregnant. This is where I show you the complete system, how all these pieces we've talked about today fit together into a comprehensive approach that addresses root causes and creates lasting fertility transformation. The masterclass includes the following. It includes the exact framework I use with patients in my HOPE coaching program. How to systematically identify and address your specific fertility roadblocks. The truth about what it really takes to optimize fertility naturally. Real patient success stories from women with unexplained infertility. Your clear path forward. No matter how long you've been struggling, it's completely free. It's about an hour long, and it might be the most important hour you spend on your fertility journey. So after you finish this video, click that link and watch the masterclass. Give yourself that gift today. Listen, I know how hard this journey has been for you. The disappointment, the confusion, the frustration of being told everything is normal when clearly everything is not normal because you're not pregnant. I know what it's like to feel dismissed by the medical system, to feel like you're crazy for thinking something must be wrong, to feel helpless and hopeless. But I need you to hear this. You're not crazy. Something is preventing your pregnancy, and it's not hopeless. The diagnosis of unexplained infertility is not the end of your story. It's actually just the beginning of a deeper investigation. It's your invitation to look beyond standard testing and find real answers. Every single week, I work with women who were told that they had unexplained infertility. Women who tried for years without success. Women who felt completely stuck. And you know what? We find the answers. We identify the hidden causes. We address them systematically, and they get pregnant. Not all of them on the first cycle, not all of them in the first month, but the vast majority of them eventually succeed because we're finally addressing what's actually wrong instead of just guessing and hoping. You deserve that same level of investigation and care. You deserve a provider who won't stop at unexplained. You deserve real answers and real solutions. So here's what I want you to do now. Pick one thing from this video, just one, and take action on it this week. Maybe you're going to request sperm DNA fragmentation testing. Maybe you're going to start taking CoQ10. Maybe you're going to eliminate gluten and see if your symptoms improve. Just pick one thing and start, because action creates momentum, and momentum creates hope, and hope combined with the right information and support creates pregnancies. Watch the free masterclass, get the complete picture, see the full system, and if you're ready for personalized support, book a fertility assessment with me and my team. Let's look at your specific situation, identify what's been missed, and create your customized roadmap to pregnancy. You can do this. I believe in you, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss a future video, and drop a comment below. I want to hear from you. Which of these 8 hidden causes resonated with you the most? What have you been struggling with? I read every comment, or try to, and your story matters to me. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay fertile and stay hopeful.